Hi, folk. I'm gonna count down from 5, and then we'll get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi. How are you doing today? It's a beautiful day here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The sun is out. It's a little chilly, but we are doing well. And so, thank you so much for joining me here. For those of you who are in the Facebook group um, that we started, Taking Care of Us, I will copy this over there. The new black mode Facebook is giving me some trouble with trying to connect today, so I'm going live on my personal page. So today's talk with Taking Care of Us is going to be about medical research. I want to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Carmen Wimberly Coffin. I am a child of the 60s, and I grew up and felt alone a lot of the time because my parents were very much community activists, and we moved into a neighborhood where I was the only girl. Uh, it was a white neighborhood. We were the only African American family. And so even though I kind of had friends, I was a tomboy because I played with the boys in the neighborhood because otherwise there was nobody else to play with. And but it was still kind of a lonely existence for me. I never really fit in with the white kids or the black kids as I was growing older. So uh, one of the things I love to do was read and research and study. And so I am today just going to talk a little bit about taking care of us because that's one of the things that I have done over my life. I've taken care of sick children, sick husband. I was diagnosed with a rare disease in 2009. 2011, I came home from work for 6 months to take care of myself and never returned. And so since then, I have developed a business. Uh, Using the things that I learned to do and that I love to do, and I've been able to take care of my aging parents um, and share information and with the rest of the world. And I've been able to meet some people. I get to talk about race and equity um, and community on a daily basis, and I am happy to be able to travel and do things that I enjoy doing now that I've retired. Um, in the Taking Care of Us group, I don't know how many of you have joined. Quite a few have. We've been talking about advocacy in action, navigating the healthcare system. That's been what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks. And so today, I had said I was going to uh, help with research. So in that group, at around 12:15, I have released a document that has most of the websites that I go to when I have to do some research on anything medical, because I there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, and it's not all valuable. A lot of it is scams. A lot of it is just things that have happened to people, and we don't discount what has happened to people, but that's not always the best information to go get. So I'm just going to list quickly because we've got a medical thing going on here at home today. Um, but I'm going to list really quickly the websites that I use when I need to do medical research. And if you are not part of the Taking Care of Us group, I would ask that you go and just join. This document, as well as several others that I have developed, are on that website. And you can print this out for yourself or look at it, and it will be a guide and a help for you, I hope. So, if somebody's given a diagnosis of something and we want to know more information, this is where I go. I go to the Mayo Clinic. They have a disease checker, a symptom checker, and disease information. And so I like to go there because I trust what they will tell me. Um, I and I'm if you read Alice in Wonderland, you know she went down the rabbit hole. And when I research, that's what I do because I want as much information as I can get so that I am knowledgeable for either myself or the person that I'm taking care of at the time. It's important to know that the doctor's going to tell you information, but it's important for you to have your own information because you need to be advocating for yourself or for your the person that you're taking care of. So Mayo Clinic is an excellent place to get information. The Cleveland Clinic has an excellent website to get information from, as does John Hopkins. So that I think that website is hopkinsmedicine.org. Yes, Keisha Hazlett. Research can take you down a rabbit hole. Uh, and I enjoy the rabbit hole, so I enjoy learning. I think you need to learn something new every day. It doesn't matter what it is, you just need to learn something new every day. Um, One of the research hubs that I use is the NIH. They have a lot of information and resources. So if I look something up there, then there's going to be some other resources that I'll be directed to. Um, for just basic things, I go to WebMD. Um, also, especially when I was dealing with things with my children and they were younger, I would go to familydoctor.org. That is sponsored by the American Academy of Family Physicians, and it's a really good website to get information from. If you're dealing with cancer, I go to the American Cancer Society, or sometimes I'll go to livestrong.org. If you're diabetic, I go to American Diabetes Association, which is diabetes.org. So the NIH, when I was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension, I'm going back because I have a question here. When I was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension, I didn't know what it was. The doctor explained it to me, but you know, when you get told something, and it is something that you aren't expecting to have to deal with. I mean, it's not a cold, it's not asthma. You know, it's something you don't know a lot about. You want to go find some information out. So, I, I, it's part of the rabbit hole, Keisha. Uh, it, the NIH will give you research, especially if you are dealing with something that there's not a lot known about. Um, okay, women's health. Womenshealth.gov has a lot of women's health information, and it is in English and in Spanish. Um, when I have a question about medication, drugs.com is a place that I start. Um, they have easy to read drug information, and they have pill identifiers, um, drug interaction information, and a lot of people don't have to deal with this, but I have had to do some research because we are put on so many medications these days, and you know, so often we think the doctors know everything, so whatever they tell us, we just take it and we do it. Um, but sometimes there are drug interactions that are not listed on your pill bottle. Everybody doesn't read all of the information in on the sheets that you get from the pharmacy, although it's important to do that. Um, but sometimes you'll have more than one medication. I know I had this happen in more than one case, and there are side effects that don't happen very often, but if they happen in two or three of the medications that you're taking, then that can exacerbate the side effect. And so I, as part of my research, I'll do if we're having some stuff going and I'm not quite sure what it is, and the doctor is not necessarily sure what it is, I will go back to either go to the medication websites, and take all of the rare side effects and put them in a chart and see if we're having some of those same things occur. If you go to drugs.com or um, go to the FDA. I didn't put the FDA on here, but and pull up the sheet sometimes when you get your prescription bottle, they'll give you the medicine, the bottle that the medicine actually came in, and there's a medicine sheet, uh, data information sheet attached to the bottle. And most people just tear it off and throw it away. But buried in that are side effects that because and the FDA has those side effects listed because the drug manufacturers are required to turn that information into them. So when that occurs, I have gone back and looked up the side effects and done a chart for the medications that somebody is on to see if those side effects come up in more than one medication and may cause something that somebody, it's not a normal side effect that people would get. If two or three of them are, you're taking two or three medications, that those side effects could be exacerbated, so you could have more of them to show up. And I have taken those charts to the doctor's office and said, this is the research I did, and this is what I think is going on. I know, you're the professional, but would you look at what I've put together and see if that makes sense? And that actually has been the issue at some point. Um, the other, so the National Library of Medicine and National Institute of Health, Medline Plus is another good place to check for information. When I was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension, and it is still considered a rare disease, and let me tell you what it is. So there is an artery going from your heart to your lungs. Pulmonary hypertension occurs when that artery is constricted or it's tightened. It doesn't open as much as it should. So it makes the pressure um, your and it's not your essential like the hypertension kind of blood pressure. It is a different kind of pressure, and it causes problems with it's a heart and a lung disease. And shortly before I was diagnosed, it was still considered, a rare disease that would kill you in a couple of years' time. They have made much progress, thank God. And so there are many medications out there now that can help with that disease. But if you are diagnosed with something that the doctor tells you is kind of rare, there is rarediseases.org. It's the National Organization for Rare Disorders. And they have information there that can also give you patient advocacy or link you to groups that are doing research or fundraising to help um, cure or find cures for these diseases. Um, so the other things I was going to tell you about research, we were going to talk about if when you are released from the hospital and you're going to a rehabilitation facility, usually your Department of Health in your state has resources for you to look up and check out with. And so I did not get that document finished. I will finish that before I come back on Tuesday, and I will put that in the group, in the Facebook group, Taking Care of Us. As I said, we've got a little medical situation going on here today, so I need to go and make another doctor's phone call. But no corona. We're not having Rona over here. She's not visiting with us. So I wanted to share this information with you today. If you have any questions, either post them in the comments or start another discussion feed on our Taking Care of Us page. And advocate for yourself and your family. That's important to do, and you have to. It's you get to ask questions. It's important to ask questions. Everybody that you go to see doesn't know all the answers, so ask the questions. If you don't ask the questions, you won't get an answer, and the answer's no to whatever it was you were going to ask. And so that's just my extra little wisdom for you for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 12 noon inside Taking Care of Us. I will have figured out how to do this Facebook Live thing in the new black mode because that's where it looks like Facebook is going. And so I've got to learn it anyway. So I will have that straight by next Tuesday. And we're probably going to we'll be changing the topic a little bit. We won't be talking so much about hospitals and doctors' offices. So there are lots of different ways to take care of you and the people around you, and it's not all about medicine. Um, we need to take care of us in lots of ways. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you. I appreciate you being here with me today. Goodbye.